Hey fam, welcome to Driven Life TV. Welcome to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in today and for taking time to watch today's video. So today we're going to be listening to Patrick Bet David talk about an experience that he had growing up in his family, and we're going to talk about relationships and how listening to the right people is important. So let's look at that and then we'll react to another clip later on in the video. So pay attention to this. Yes.
My dad and my mom, they got divorced twice. They got married to each other. My sister born, divorced, remarried. I'm born, divorced to each other. Okay. And there was this one aunt we had, and I would be at the house, and my dad doesn't come home till 8:30, and she would come in and she would say stuff like this to my mom. She would say, "Is that all Derek did for you? Do you know what John did for Mary? He doesn't treat you that well. Why doesn't he buy you a bracelet? How come he doesn't buy you that diamond? Look what an amazing woman you are. Look how many kids you've given her. You know what other women are doing like you that are beautiful like you? You think they're doing this? You know what they're doing?" And she would keep feeding this BS to my mom. As a 7-year-old kid, I'm sitting there watching. They don't know I'm watching, but you know, kids were paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would see my dad would come home. And when my dad would come home, the fight would start. When the fight would start, and my dad doesn't know where this fight came from. He has no clue that lady created a proxy war. My dad has no clue that was a proxy war. That is an element of a proxy war that leads to a divorce, right?
Wow, 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 wow. Do you understand exactly what he's talking about right there? This is so common in many people's relationships, whether dating and even marriage as well. The wrong people can ruin your relationship. You know, sometimes we are very we're very good at just having people around us. Sometimes we're good at maintaining relationships with maybe friendships we don't need in our lives. Sometimes we involve people in matters that we shouldn't be involving them. I think most people actually have a person that they know that they shouldn't be talking relationships with. There are some people that should just remain work friends, just people you know from work. You shouldn't be talking personal stuff with them because you know their ideologies are skewed, they are gossipers, they're always spewing negative things. Some people will destroy your relationships if you listen to them long enough. I'm telling you. So you find that his mom and dad, they are together, but this aunt keeps on coming and keeps feeding this to his mom's telling this to his mom to say that you can be doing something better than what you're doing right now. He keeps on feeding her these things. The next thing you know is that the mom is actually fighting with her husband. Why? Because someone fed her information, and so she believed it. The next thing you know, she's actually removing peace from her home just because of something someone said. And they would end up in a divorce twice, imagine. And now I think they're permanently divorced and they're not together at all. They remained like that after having him. So what I'm saying is sometimes we keep people around us who are actually seeds of destruction. We need to learn to look at our surroundings and say, oh my goodness, we don't need this person. This person doesn't need to be close to our family. Okay? You see a person who is so promiscuous. Why are you keeping them close to your relationship? You see someone who is always a gossiper. Why are you talking to them every time? You see someone who lives in an immoral lifestyle. Why do you keep on tolerating them? You see people who are anti-God. They are actually in your life. Why are you having people who don't love Jesus in your life? That's what we're saying. Like the people you keep around you, in a time of desperation, they will become sources of counsel. And believe me, it matters who you get advice from. Okay. So we're going to look at another clip right now of the wife of Tyrese actually confessing to something similar. Let's look at that right now so that we actually understand that it's not just a random thing that actually happens. So let's look at that right now.
Because I would never tell. I work with women. I would never tell a woman to walk through that in the same frame of mind I was in when I did it.
So
And
she
when you
divorced
say
from
that, but what
she
frame of mind
divorced
was
from
that? What do you
Tyrese,
mean by
and
that in
now
particular?
she's talking about
I
regretting the
was
decision.
very, very hurt. I was very angry, and I remember like when I made like the decision, I was like hysterically crying
Mm.
on the phone with my attorney. That was
Interesting.
not the
Wow.
person I should have been on the phone with when, like, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, I was hysterically crying. And I was not in any position to make that decision. I was extremely emotionally intoxicated. We can be intoxicated with our emotions.
He's about to say
The
it.
truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No, I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Because I think that I was women were like, I'm an extremely emotional person. People that know me know that about me. I'm the kind of person that, like, okay, I feel so strong, and I can ruminate. I can get so lost in my thoughts. I know a lot of women are like that. Like, we're a lot, not all of us, right? But some of us are. Just like a lot of men can be like that.
Most.
But I know women specifically, there will be moments where they'll be like, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah blah. Because I would never.
You see, this is exactly what happens, you know. You create a story in your own mind and you keep on feeding into that story. You keep on telling yourself that he doesn't care about me, she doesn't care about me, I think she's being rude because she feels like you start to create a narrative in your mind. Keep on and for females it gets so emotional and they find that it's become so real to them. And when someone outside validates that, this is why I'm saying, like, she actually said this. She said, if I had the different people in my ear at that time, I wouldn't have divorced my husband. But she was in an emotional place, and some people kept on telling her to say, no, you deserve better. You need to do this. Even actually being a celebrity, I think there are actually some people who actually told her to say, you know, if you actually divorce him, you'll get a lot of money. You know, it's possible. You know, but all I'm saying is that it matters the people you talk to when these things happen, the people you keep around. The Bible tells us that in a multitude of counselors there is safety, but it also matters the type of counselors you keep. And so you have to be careful. So I want us to look at this simple Bible verse as well, and then we'll wrap it up. So there's a Bible verse that I want us to look at, and then I think it's so in line with actually what we've been talking about. In 2 Samuel chapter 13, the Bible says, in the course of time, Amnon, son of David, fell in love with Tamar, the beautiful sister of Absalom, son of David. So these were related, okay, a bit distant, but they were related, okay. Amnon became so obsessed with his sister Tamar that he made himself ill. Do you understand that this guy was so intoxicated by this girl? Okay, he wanted her in his life. He was just so in love with her. Okay, it was just him just saying, I find her so attractive. I want to be with her as a person. I just want to be around her. Okay, so the Bible says she was a virgin and it seemed impossible for him to do anything to her. Okay, now it seemed impossible to him. In his mind, it was impossible to him. Okay, it was impossible. See where things change right now. It says, now Amnon had an advisor named Jonadab, son of Shimeah, David's brother. Jonadab was a very shrewd man. He asked Amnon, why do you, the king's son, look so haggard morning after morning? Won't you tell me? Amnon said to him, I'm in love with Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. Verse 5 says, go to bed and pretend to be ill. Jonadab said, when your father comes to see you, say to him, I would like my sister Tamar to come and give me something to eat. Let her prepare the food in my sight, so I may watch her and then eat it from her hand. So Amnon laid down and pretended to be ill. When the king came to see him, Amnon said to him, I would like my sister Tamar to come and make me a special meal. Okay? So verse 8 says, so Tamar went to the house where her brother Amnon, who was lying down, okay, she took some dough, kneaded it, and then made the bread in his sight and baked it. Then she took the pan and served him the meal, but he refused to eat. Send everyone out of here, Amnon said. So everyone left him. Then Amnon said to Tamar, bring the food here into my bedroom, so I may eat from your hand. So Tamar took the bread she had prepared and brought it to her brother Amnon in his bedroom. But when she took it to him to eat, he grabbed her and said, come to bed with me, my sister. No, my brother, she said to him, don't force me. Such a thing should not be done in Israel. Okay? And then here, so he says, such a thing should not be done in Israel. Don't do this wicked thing. What about me? Where could I get rid of my disgrace? And what about you? You would be like one of the wicked fools in Israel. Please speak to the king. He will not keep me from being married to you. But he refused to listen to her. And since he was stronger than she, he raped her. So you have to understand that this is what happens. You can actually be exploring a possibility because you're in an emotional state. You just don't know what to do. And then once a wrong counselor comes into your life and gives you a perspective that sort of tells you that what you were thinking was impossible is actually a possibility. You can actually end up taking this path, and it's actually not very strange. It's actually not new to people. Other people have done it. You can do the same, and then the next thing you know is you're believing it because it's actually aligning and validating what you've been feeling. And the next thing you know is you're doing something that in your normal mind you wouldn't be able to do. All I'm saying is we all need people in our relationships, in our marriages. And these people have to be right, godly, mature, and people who are prayerful, people who are moral. Because these people will help us to make sure that in times when we can't think for ourselves, they'll give us counsel that will help us stay on the right track. This is why you need to be strategic. I think someone actually said that when you're in a relationship, in a marriage, make sure that you have a friend who is for your partner, meaning that a friend who always back your partner no matter what. And she also needs to have someone in her life whom she can easily reach, who always back you as well. So it's like she said that in times when we're desperate, I think these people need to be close who can actually help us see things from a different perspective. Because when in an emotional state, we always see things from our own perspective, and most of the times our perspective is skewed by our emotions. And so we need good counselors around us. But anyways, this is what I wanted to talk about. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, subscribe to the videos. A lot of you are enjoying the content, but make sure you're subscribed as well so that you can keep on accessing the things that we're talking about. Until next time, have a good one.